Because now it's kind of like Facebook is the parent and Facebook is determining how to distribute the pocket money to little kids.
Facebook ads best practices. When it comes to the game of Facebook and social media, the platforms are constantly changing. And today in this video, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to a coaching session and a Q&A session that I recently did to walk you through exactly what you should be doing and also what you should not be doing that I see a lot of marketers doing right now. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to see why with these little tweaks, you'll be able to significantly decrease your cost per lead or cost per sale and increase the profitability of your campaigns overall. Let's begin.
All right, and welcome everybody to this week's Hot Seat and Free Flow Q&A session. Why don't you just quickly introduce the market you're in, who you serve, and the result you help them generate, and then we'll take a look at your submission.
Okay, thanks, Peng Joon. So I'm Gan from Malaysia. So I do business coaching for financial entrepreneurs. I noticed that my cost per opt-in lead has tripled from about $5 per lead to $15 per lead. But the funnels and the ad strategy that I was doing, there wasn't much change. So I'm looking at how to drop my cost per opt-in lead.
So to quickly recap, it used to be $5 3 months ago. Today it's $15, but nothing changed. The funnel didn't change, ads didn't change. So Gan wants to be able to take a look and see what actually happened and what accounted for this since nothing else changed. First possibility is what Thomas said, right? There's a change in the algorithm, something like the iOS 14 update, and the game changed and ad cost tripled. First possibility. Second possibility is Saif and Theo said ad fatigue. Maybe it's the same audiences seeing the same ad again. So before I go deeper now again, here's some of the best practices when it comes to running ads in your campaigns. What we will normally do is we will clump countries and separate them on a different campaign in most cases, okay? Which means if I am targeting, let's say Singapore and Malaysia in your case, I will not put them on the same campaign. And there's a reason for that. First of all, if your, let's say, objective of the campaign is for conversions, right, which in most cases is, or it's for engagement, whatever it might be. Remember, the algorithm wants to give you what it is that you want. So let's say I am putting in Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore in the same campaign, okay? Now, typically, Philippines would naturally have a significantly lower cost per lead, but your dream client may not necessarily be there. Now, because it's in the same campaign, what does Facebook think? Facebook, in their eyes, thinks, oh, Peng Joon tells me that what he wants is people who is registering for this webinar, right? Because I'm basing it on conversions. Therefore, based on what Peng Joon tells me he wants, which is maximum conversions for this webinar, I am going to allocate nearly all of the budget to Philippines because based on what Peng Joon tells me what he wants, it looks like the conversion in Philippines is cheaper. So now, because the countries are clumped together in the same campaign, you are allowing Facebook to determine how to allocate this budget, right? And now it could be the case that Facebook is going to allocate, 70% on one country more than another, very similar to your case over here. Now, when you do this, here's the downside. The downside is that you can't really control and dictate how much you want to allocate for a specific country. Because now it's kind of like Facebook is the parent and the Facebook is determining how to distribute the pocket money to little kids, right? So what we will do instead is typically we will split out the campaigns to the different countries and to make sure that there's a fair allocation of the ad spend based on the countries that we want. Okay, so definitely if you are targeting Malaysia and Singapore, the purchasing power between these two countries is, and you guys will know this, right? Probably it's night and day, right? So naturally what will happen is you'll notice that your cost per lead in Singapore is going to be significantly higher than Malaysia, in some cases 3 to 5 times, right? Possible, depending on the market that you're in. But it could also mean that they are significantly more qualified as your dream client, maybe, right? Depending on the market you're in, depending on your presentation, your topic, your style, all of that, right? So cheaper doesn't necessarily mean better. Okay, so number one, the first thing you want to do in order to really have a better reflection on what's going on is to split up the campaigns first, so that you always know, oh, for Malaysia and Singapore, that's what's happening. Next thing we want to be able to do is we want to look at the congruence. Okay, let's look and see what the ad looks like. Okay, so I can see this is the ad, and then we'll take a look at the landing page. Okay, so real quick, let's begin. So revealed in public for the first time ever, closing high ticket is the dream for every insurance advisor. Okay, so this looks like this is targeted at the insurance market, targeting agents. Typically, the next thing that you will do is when you put in your dynamic creatives together, I would say that I've never plumbed my image ads together with videos when it comes to dynamic creatives, because I want my video ad and the write-up for my video ad to be congruent with what I'm saying in the video. So every time I have a video ad, there would be a customized text that goes with that video. Because you think about it logically, if you had a write-up that says, number one, it's like talking about the problem and the solution. Number two, maybe it's like, as you can see here, okay, so think about this, right? If let's say there was a video of me talking about the problem, the solution, and then this offer, a good accompanying text would be, as you can see from this video, taking supplement name on a daily basis can make a huge difference in your productivity and the radiance of your skin, right? In fact, in this video, this was me taking this supplement for 3 months straight, right? So imagine that's my languaging, right? I'm connecting, and now people who's watching the video can see, oh, this text with this video makes sense. But if you clump this text right up with your image variations as well, and a person seeing this image of me going, okay, and the text right up is saying, as you can see from this video, you know, I've been using this supplement for the last 3 months, to a person like that doesn't make sense. So because of that, you are not allowed to be specific with your messaging. And in fact, you have to go broad just to cater for all these different examples. So it's not that having a lot of variations is a bad thing. Now, this is powerful because it tells you that you can reuse that hook and now create more variations of the hook. Now, maybe you can create a Facebook Live on it, right? Now, maybe you can create, you know, another 5 different ad variations of the same words, but now it's you doing this. It could be this, right? It could be this, right? With the same words now. So we want to be very purposeful with what we are dumping in that we were clumping together, so that we are actually helping Facebook and giving them info and data that will help us in turn give us feedback on our best performing ads and hooks and images.
So what I'm getting here is to be purposeful in what we are clumping together and don't put images and videos together. So I'm totally good on that. Thanks for that feedback.
Okay, love it. Okay, so then let's talk about how we can further improve this next campaign. Now, before we take a look at the landing page, let's take a look at one more item. Okay, so for first time ever, okay, this is awesome. Okay, let's take a look before we play the video. Okay, so let's take a look at the write-up. Revealed for the first time ever, closing high-ticket sales is the dream of every insurance advisor. To accomplish this feat consistently. Now, to me, if I was just basing it based on audio, to be frank, like it could have sounded like something else. Okay, all I'm saying is, if you're utilizing a B-roll, you gotta ask yourself, and this goes for all of you, right? Like, what's the purpose of this B-roll? Now, the purpose of the B-roll is usually to establish credibility. It is to pattern interrupt, so it makes things more interesting and engaging. So what are the things that I will do, okay, and my team, you know, they all know this too well. You guys will notice this in my videos once I mention this, is that I will purposely utilize B-rolls when I casually mention results that I do for our clients or customers, or something that we do for ourselves. Okay, so for example, right, what's a good use of a B-roll that's purposeful, where we're not just using B-rolls for the purpose of B-rolls? It would be like, after helping over a dozen clients, insurance agents, to receive and to be recognized in the industry and receiving multiple awards, I noticed that the top agents usually have these 5 traits. Now, if I say something like that, you know what I'll do? Now, the B-roll is very powerful because the B-roll can match what you're saying, right? And what you're saying could be you. I noticed that you mentioned, you know, you've won a few different awards there. That's when I can show images, pictures, you or your client going on stages, receiving these awards, because now it's visual. Because if it's an ad, that's when they can show B-rolls, images of me speaking on the biggest platforms in the world, right? It could be like after scaling multiple businesses and funnels to 7 and 8 figures and beyond, right? When I say that, what's the B-roll? The B-roll is literally, could be sales coming in. It could be maybe winning awards of the 2 Comma Club C award for over $25 million in sales, right? It's being very purposeful about why is that B-roll there, right? And matching the B-roll with what I'm saying. That's how you make the ad good. Why? Because now people are not just auditory, but they're visual as well. And the analogy that you've utilized is amazing. This is something that makes it interesting. Okay, so what we want to be able to do for an ad like this, and this just comes with practice, right? We want to start off with the hook and the payoff first. Okay, so this would be like, if you take a look at the opening video, there was a lot of time taken before you went into that analogy. And that analogy was great, but the problem is a person might not have been patient enough to stay till the middle part where you gave the analogy. So what you want to be able to do is, and this goes for all of you, right? You got to start off with that hook so that the person who's interested is going to stay. And this would be like, straight up begin with, in this video, I'm going to reveal to you why a business class trip on Singapore Airlines is the same as selling high ticket in the insurance industry. Always have that call out within the first 1 or 2 seconds so that a person knows that whether it's for them or not. When you're able to do this, what naturally happens is your audience, who's the targeted and ideal audience, they're now leaning in and they're going, oh man, I gotta be able to see what this person's saying because this post is speaking to me, without calling them out. Okay, so please write down, all of you, please write down call out without calling them out. And a great way to call out without calling them out is by having that keyword of that market or that audience in your first 1 or 2 sentences. That is when we can all go crazy and just have the same write-up and just have a ton of different images chucked in there with different color schemes, different format, different words, and then just let Facebook, you know, work its magic to decide which image to rotate.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if the right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below and my team will be in touch with you.